Question: how many songs have you written but never recorded? It's a lot, right? It's time to turn those ideas into playable, portable, streamable MP3s, and today I'm going to show you my vocal recording workflow in Soundtrap to show you how easy it is to record right from your home studio. And if you don't have a home studio set up yet, make sure you check out our last video where I go through all the recording equipment you'll need, from both a simple, budget-friendly setup to a more professional setup. Okay, so you bought the microphone, you bought the interface and everything, but what's next? Here's what I would do if I were unboxing all of this for the first time. First, we'll get all of this set up, and then I'm gonna walk you through how to properly configure your settings within the recording software, how to set your vocal levels correctly so you don't distort your voice, and then walk you through how I run a recording session, and I'll give you tons of tips to get your recording sounding very professional. So let's quickly get some of the physical setup and the mic technique out of the way. First, you're gonna wanna set up your mic stand, and don't make this mistake. Don't force the mic stand to move. Make sure you loosen everything before moving it. Otherwise, you'll start to strip the inner workings and you can break the mic stand that way. So I've got this all loosened, right? I'm gonna take my shock mount and I'm gonna put it into the mic stand, and it's a lot easier to just twist the mic stand itself instead of the shock mount or the microphone like twisting it like this. So I just hold it in place and then twist it right into the shock mount. We can fine tune the mic height after. I just wanna get it all set up, place my mic in the shock mount. I already have a windscreen on the mic. This helps with my plosives. And then I'm also going to add another pop filter, which I'll show you in a second. Let me just tighten this so it stays in one place. Okay, then I'll take my pop filter, which just clamps onto the mic stand. Now that it's all in place, we can set our mic height. If I'm gonna be singing right here, the mic is definitely too low. My mouth is up here and that would have me singing straight over the mic. So I am going to raise this to about here. That feels good. I know that the diaphragm is right there in the middle. You want to sing straight into that circle piece that you see through the mesh of your microphone. Also keep in mind you might posture up when you're singing, so if you're slouching while setting your mic height, make sure you're more aware of how you will be when you're actually recording. So I know I'm going to sit up, so actually maybe this is a little too low. Oh, that's as high as my mic stand goes. So if that's as high as that goes, I'm going to have to adjust it this way, lifting it, and then I'm just gonna loosen the shock mount, and then let me just adjust the mic where I want it. I'm gonna have it slightly angled towards me, and that's gonna help the air not hit the diaphragm so straight on, which will help with my plosives. The windscreen is my first defense against the plosives, the angle, and then the pop filter. I'm gonna actually move this. Let's put that here instead. All right, okay, the height looks perfect now. Distance is also super important. You'll wanna keep at least 6 inches between you and the microphone. You can do the thumb to pinky test. You actually do want to be this far away from the mic. A lot of people like to eat the mic. Don't do that. If you record too close to the mic, this causes a proximity effect, which results in an uneven frequency spread picked up by the mic. It sounds much cleaner when you're at a little bit of a distance. Next, we'll plug in our mic cable. And I always remember the mic is male, so I don't need to like look in which end do I need to plug in. I always know the female end of the cable goes into the male mic. There we go. And then the other end is gonna go into our interface. Gonna plug this into mic input 1, and then plug the USB cable from the interface into your computer. Okay, all plugged in. One thing though, this is a condenser microphone, so it won't make any sound if I don't press the 48V button, which is right here on my interface. So now that that is on, that is giving phantom power to this microphone. All right, now we're gonna get to the fun part. Log in to your Soundtrap account and just click Enter Studio. We'll create a new session for you. I'm gonna choose music. The first thing I like to do is import my instrumental, and I can do that just by dragging and dropping my MP3 right into the session. It automatically made it a new track. Then I'm gonna make my vocal tracks just by clicking Add New Track, Voice and Mic, and I'm gonna do that 6 times. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is gonna be my leads and my background vocals. I have 2 lead tracks just in case anything I sing needs to overlap the next part. And then for now, I just have 2 tracks that'll be my doubles of the lead and 1 harmony, which I'll double. Most likely later you'll add more tracks, but let's just start with this. I'm gonna go ahead and double click on the name and rename all of these. That's lead 1, lead 2. BGV stands for background vocal 1, BGV 2. You get the point. Cool. My leads are already golden because they are panned center by default, but my background vocals, I'm gonna wanna click on those and pan them left and right. And if you're not in this view, just click on the little mic next to the name of the track and then pan left and right. So my BGV1 is going all the way to the left, BGV2 is going all the way to the right, and then BGV3, I'm gonna do almost the same thing, but instead of 100, I'm gonna go maybe 90. There it is. And then 90 to the right. If you make more tracks, maybe make the next set go 80-80, the next 70-70, 60-60. I don't like to go too much further in from there, so I start to kind of just go back out. Panning the vocals like this will give us a nice stereo spread, and none of the vocals will be sitting on top of each other, which is a very common beginner mistake. I also like to turn the volume down on the background vocals a little bit. So let's dial that back to maybe -8 dB for now. And then later on, of course, you can adjust this in your mixing phase. I can also just do that quickly right over here. Boom, boom, boom. And if you want some tips on how to arrange your background vocals, look out for my vocal production video. Another thing I love that Soundtrap does for us automatically by default is it puts this loud and clear preset on the vocal tracks, so it gives us a head start on mixing. You can see what it's doing under the effects tab. This will give us a nice clean pop sound. It's a great starting point. You can always change out any of these effects, add more effects, or check out the other presets by listening here. Side note, I did a vocal presets video if you want to get more in detail with those. But moving on, the next bit is so important. We have to make sure our microphone is communicating with the software. So if you've ever opened up a session and you can't hear anything from your mic yet, this is why. Click on any vocal track, make sure you're on the audio tab. This dropdown on the left is your input selection. Input meaning the sound going in to your mic and into your computer. Output would be sound coming out of the speakers. You're gonna set it to whatever your interface is. I had it on my internal microphone, but I'm gonna change it to the SRI2, that is this interface by Fluid Audio. If you're on your phone, this is gonna be that little gear icon. Now we see some level coming in, and I get this question a lot. Why are my vocals distorting? Well, this is how you prevent that. Let me tell you something. You are not too loud. You should be able to express yourself however you feel. All we have to do is set our levels using the gain or input knob on your interface to make sure this level doesn't go too high. So depending on which interface you have, the knob might say gain, input 1, mic 1, it might just be the number 1. And side note, if you're just singing into the internal mic on your computer or your iPhone, check out the calibrate function. Let's try it. La 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 la. I sound great. We fixed the volume levels to prevent clipping and distortion. Cool, so it automatically set it for me. However, I am not using my internal mic, I'm using the SRI2, so I'm gonna have to do my levels manually. Hello, hello. Okay, there we go. Ooh, ah. That's distorting in my headphones. I know you can't hear it, but set your level by singing the loudest part of your song at full passion, please. And make sure, A, it doesn't sound distorted, and make sure that the meter doesn't go too far above 50%. Definitely keep it lower than 75%. If you're noticing you can hear a lot of room sound or background noise, it's always best to try to dampen the sound of the room by adding fabrics to absorb the sound. That's why I always recommend recording in a closet if you can. But Soundtrap has this feature called Voice Cleaner, which you can apply by clicking on the audio and click Remove Noise. It uses AI to fix the vocal for you. There's a few more things I want to do before starting to record. Personally, I like to turn the vocal tuner on, set my key, and then this is how much of the effect I want. Then next, I like to set my tempo. And if you don't know the tempo of your track, just click on tempo down here. Press play and tap the letter T on your keyboard, and it will detect the tempo you're tapping at. After I click apply, it asks if I want to adjust my audio data to match the new tempo. I say no, don't adjust, because that will time stretch this to whatever I put, and I just want it to actually be the correct tempo. So don't adjust. Sometimes I don't get it right the first time, so when I play it back with this metronome on, I'll just adjust this by like 1 or 2 and play it again and see if that fixes it. But you might actually get the tempo correct and it still doesn't sound like it lines up. And that's because when you import your instrumental, if you really zoom into the beginning, notice that the beat actually comes in a little late. That's due to plugin latency. So what we can do is just trim it back to the very beginning I'm gonna give it a little baby fade, pop it back, and now it should be right on beat. All right, cool. Okay, we're almost ready to start recording. So what I'm gonna do is record arm the track I want to record onto. And that is by clicking the R button on this track. I'm gonna move this playhead all the way back to the beginning because that's where I wanna start. And before every take that you do, you're gonna press the record button. Quick tip, if you're running into issues where your voice is sounding like it's late, that is what's called latency. It happens when we have a lot of effects on and our computer can't keep up. During the recording process, your special effects are not as important. We mainly use them during the mixing phase, so you might want to go to Settings and turn on Low Latency Mode. This is going to disable your effects just while you're recording. You can go right back and toggle it off when you're in the mixing phase. For an even smoother experience, try downloading the new beta desktop version to take your recording offline. I'm about to hit record, but before I do, I'm gonna run through some common mistakes that I see so you can avoid them. Mistake number one, some people just record the whole song in one take. No. You're missing out on all the recording magic. You have permission to record one line at a time. Do it as many times as you need till you get the one. Big mistake number two is the clipping and distortion we hear sometimes. This is why I said when you set your levels, make sure you sing with the same passion you're gonna give in your actual take. The mistake I see people make is that they set their levels while they're singing kind of loud, but not as loud as they're going to be when they're actually recording. That when they actually start recording and they start really going in, pay attention during your session. If you hear that you need to set your level again, do it. Mistake number three, forgetting to tune your background vocals. And I did forget that. So let me go back to every single track and make sure I turn on my vocal tuner everywhere. Got it. Cool. Next mistake, and I know we already covered this, but again, make sure you're not too far away from the mic or too close to the mic. It's easy to get in the zone and kind of not pay attention to that anymore. You might start to slouch and then your mic height isn't accurate. So you got to train yourself to be mindful of these things when you're recording. I'm all for doing a little dance while you're recording, but try to be a bobble body and keep your head in one place if you can. This next mistake is gross. I always hear like spit sounds or saliva in some recordings. So pay attention if you have excessive spit in your mouth while you're recording. Just try to avoid weird mouth sounds getting into the mic. Next mistake is a big one. Please don't fall victim to this. Recording into the wrong side of the mic. You could easily accidentally record into the wrong side of the mic. As a general rule of thumb, the logo of the microphone is supposed to be facing you. And lastly, please do not record with the speakers on. This unfortunate accident might happen because your friend is trying to eavesdrop on you while you're recording. If need be, you can buy a headphone splitter so you can have two headphones listening in at the same time. All right, you are ready, so get recording and don't forget to hit subscribe and stay up to date with my vocal production videos. This is just one of several vocal recording 101 videos, so click here to jump into the next helpful video and I'll see you over there.